Hello, and welcome to the Renaissance English History Podcast's Tudor Minute, your mostly daily dose of all things related to medieval and Renaissance England. So, I've said before that one of my favorite ways to look at history is through the music of the time period. And so this week, I'm going to be talking about a few pieces and composers from medieval and Renaissance England. And today, I'm going to start with the Eton choirbook. So the Eton choirbook is an illuminated manuscript, and it's a collection of English sacred music composed during the late 15th century. And it's one of the few, very few collections of Latin liturgical music that survived the Reformation, when the Protestants destroyed everything that smelled of Catholicism. So they broke stained glass windows and they burned choral manuscripts, anything that reminded them of Catholicism. But the Eton choirbook survived, and it's an important musical source, obviously, for the music of the time period. It originally contained music by 24 different composers, but many of the pieces are damaged or incomplete, and it's one of the three large choir books surviving from the early Tudor English period. The others are the Lambeth choirbook and also the Caius choirbook. So the choirbook was compiled between about 1500 and 1505 for use at Eton College, and its present binding dates from the mid-16th century. And 126 folios remain of the original 224, including the index. And in the original, there was a total of 93 separate compositions, but only 64 remain, either complete or in part. And some of the 24 composers that are represented are actually only known because of their inclusion in the Eton choirbook. John Browne has the most compositions with 10, followed by Richard Davey and Walter Lamb with 9 and 8 respectively. So stylistically, the music that's contained in the Eton choirbook shows three different phases in the development of the early Renaissance polyphony in England. The first phase is represented by the music of Richard Higgins, William Horwood, and Gilbert Bannister. Most of the music of this early phase is polyphonic, but it's non-imitative, and the contrast was achieved by alteration of the full five-voice texture with sections sung by fewer voices. And the second phase includes music by John Browne, Richard Davey, and Walter Lamb, uses imitation and frequent cross relations, which was to become a very distinct sound in early Tudor polyphony. And the final phase represented in the choirbook includes music by William Cornish and Robert Fairfax, and was composed around 1500. And points of imitation are frequent, and in general, the sound of the music is a lot more continental. So, I have a playlist on Spotify of Renaissance English music that has music from the Eton choirbook on it. I'll add a link in the comments below. And to learn more about the Renaissance English History Podcast, you can subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or your podcast aggregator of choice. Or you can go to www.englandcast.com. ENGLANDCAST.com, or you can also go to facebook.com/englandcast. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.